ceremony is the amputation of the last segment of each toe in the cats. Okay, so actually it's not removing just the nail, it's removing part of the bone that makes the finger, so, or the toe. So for that reason is kind of extreme procedure, okay, and if it's not done right can have consequences for the rest of the life of the patient. It's a technique to do this procedure in the right way as well, but doesn't mean that there's justification why to do it on each cat or why to offer it as a broad service, because it's painful for the cat and it will alter the way that the cat interacts with absolutely everything for the rest of its life. I have performed 2 declaw surgeries, but it's not a service that we offer to the public, because requires to amputate a part of the cat that they need for his daily life. The only reason why I have performed this surgery is because the health of the owner of the cat was being jeopardized by the cat. Okay, so it's only special situations when this can happen. In these cases, both owners were elderly owners that they were taking immunosuppressant medications, and the cats were too rough with them and were causing multiple scratches and damage in the arms of the owners. It's not a routine service. Okay, we don't advertise it or we don't offer it to the public. People will try to get rid of the cat because he's biting them or destroying furniture. So if you want to see it as a pro, we have too many cats right now that don't have homes, and some of them will lose their current home because they are being destructive or being too rough with the owners. Okay, that would be a pro for that. But it's more a pro for the people than for the cat.
I don't believe in it anymore. You know, originally all the cats initially were mostly, you know, kept outside and in the barn, and that was to, you know, for them to catch rats and all. And then when everybody moved off the farm and moved into the cities, the cats would scratch up everything, trying to sharpen their claws. The cat's claw continuously grows, and if it's not stripped off, layers are not stripped off, it'll build up around the toe and cause irritation. All that has to be peeled off to keep it sharp so it can be used as a claw. And so that's why cats go up to the furniture and stick their claws in and pull them back, stick them in and pull them back. It's trying to peel that stuff off. And so people started, you know, trying to declaw the cat so they wouldn't damage the furniture. And that's how it all started. So what they originally did was they took a pair of nail trimmers that would just slide up on that toe and cut the bone right in half. That's how they took the claw out. Problem is you didn't position that thing just right. You'd leave part of it and it would grow back. But the reason everybody started getting against it was when we realized actually how much pain the cats were actually in. We initially didn't think they were in that much pain, because you take a 10-week-old kitten, you could declaw him, and then in 30 minutes you could walk back into the kennel and that kitten would be climbing the bars. He just had his paws over there climbing up the bars. And we just didn't think that if it was that painful that they'd be climbing the bars. Of course, also in those days, after you declawed them, you had to bandage it to keep it from bleeding. They definitely didn't like the bandage. You know, they'd be sitting back there shaking their paws, so we knew that that wasn't comfortable for them. So that's why we finally just kind of got away from it. We also have pain medication we can put them on now. We did not before. Most of the opioid drugs that, you know, that really block pain that we use in people, cats don't do well with. They tend to have a lot of hallucinations with it. And any of the, they classify as a non-steroidal, like aspirin or any of those, the cat can't excrete them through the kidney very well, and you know, one dose of aspirin can kill a cat. And then they finally developed some drugs that would work and were safe so that we could put them on pain medicines. But most people just don't do it anymore.
I'm a veterinary technician with Dr. Reinhardt at the Veterinary Center of Sarasota, and Dr. Reinhardt does not like to declaw cats. We are more focused on understanding the behavior of the cat to prevent them from clawing up your furniture and your household items, and understanding why they want to scratch. So what we do is look at the behavior of the cats. We use pheromones to adjust behaviors and make the animal feel more comfortable in their environment. Declawing cats can be very painful. They actually remove the first knuckle of each of one of their toes, and that's glued shut. And even with pain management, it's still uncomfortable for the animal, and it can cause increased behavioral issues with the cat. So we do not do that here. It's harder on older cats because they don't heal as well. A lot of times the declaw procedure does not heal well and has to be redone, so it's multiple surgeries.
I run a nonprofit cat rescue. I started doing it because I was unhappy at the way animals were treated in this society, and I wanted to do something to give back. I can control who comes, who they go homes to, what I feed them, and the care that I give, and I try to educate people when they come to adopt. I am totally opposed to declawing cats, and I have to say 30-some years ago, my first cats I declawed. There were 2 of them, and I declawed them because the vet said that's what you do, and then you're going to have them inside and they won't damage your furniture and this and that. And I thought, how cool is that? Very convenient. I can declaw them, I can have everything that I want, and I can have this beautiful furry being to share my home with. What has happened over the years is that I've been involved with rescue work, and when I got involved with rescue work, I began to see the underlying problems with declawing. And it's so easy when you just see a piece of something and you think that you've got the answer, and the vet tells you that it's okay. The problem is what declawing does is it takes away from the cat something that the cat needs desperately. It takes away their balance. It is actually removing the top joint of their toes, and it affects the way they walk, jump, every part of their life. And they can't say a thing. They can meow and look happy. You can say, people say it doesn't hurt my cat a bit. People aren't the judge of that. The cat can't speak to us, and you can't not hear what the cat has to say. When you declaw a cat, it is painful afterwards. They don't go to the litter pan because they associate the litter pan with pain, so usually they'll go towards the litter pan and they'll pee outside the box. This goes on for a few months in people's homes, and right away they realize they can't keep a cat like that, and they put it in animal services. The cat did nothing other than be declawed. And so what happens is I live with those cats. We're a rescue. We get all kinds of cats. We don't take just the pretty ones. We don't just take the young ones. We take all of them. And this cat here was declawed, and she can't jump up and down herself. This cat is now around 11 years old, and what happens is eventually arthritis sets in. When you have a damaged joint, arthritis sets in, and as they get older, people don't realize that it gets more and more painful to walk. Now, you can't make a across-the-board statement and say that declawing is a terrible thing for every cat that has it done, but the problem is there are many, many, many that will have that handicap the rest of their life. They can't say anything about it. They've been used to it. And it's one of the worst things that I have ever seen done. And the more I hear people, the argument for doing it, and remember, I did it. I did it to my own cats. But now I see the 20-year progression that I've made away from, and now I realize that I have respect for the cat, the whole body of the cat, and I think it boils down to when someone calls me and I start the discussion to see if they're a viable home for one of my rescued cats, I ask them, what are your thoughts on declawing? Do you intend to declaw this cat? If they say, I'm not sure, or yes, I would like to because I just bought brand new leather furniture, I say, well, here's what I'd like to tell you. It's not a good procedure. We don't recommend it. We don't allow our cats. We have it in the contract that you can't declaw. And here's what I recommend. If it's really important to you, then get one that's had it done already. They are everywhere.
Hi, Hi, this is Ebony. She is not declawed. I do not agree with declawing cats because it is terrible for their nail beds and it makes them walk funny and not feel well afterwards. She's getting a little cranky. She likes to be held for a minute, but not for too long. She is about 10 years old and she's a little angry right now.
This is Oscar. He is about 10 years old. And he is a Manx, which means he does not have a tail. He is not declawed because he wouldn't be able to protect himself if he got outside, which he does once in a while. The back door gets open or the front door and he scoots out. But he's a good kitty and he comes back.
This is Tigger and he is not declawed. Barn cat, we don't really want to declaw him because he has to be able to protect himself in case an animal comes through here. And he also hunts for rats and stuff to keep our barn clean. So he has to be able to do that. His claws help him. We have him and then we have one other kitten, Valentine. She's also not declawed for the same reasons. Has to be able to hunt and protect herself.
Alternatives can be training and being patient sometimes. If you start early in life and you provide enough toys and enough distractions and you have enough time to discourage the cat from causing damage to the furniture or when he plays with you as well, I mean, that is really important. Training at early age, socialization is really important. I think that most of the cats will respond well to this.
But the easiest thing that I tell people, and this is what we do here, is we keep the nails trimmed. We use a little nail cutter, just a human nail cutter, like this.
They do have a product, little plastic caps that you can glue over the nail that'll keep them from scratching.
You can get them scratching posts. Now, very interesting thing that I learned maybe 10 years ago, I learned that each cat has a certain way they like to scratch. So now they have scratching posts, they have horizontal ones, they have vertical ones, they've got angular ones. Be sure you get a scratching post that when the cat scratches and pulls, it doesn't pull it over on top of them, or they're going to get a negative interpretation of that. But watch your cat scratch what they choose and then get a scratching post that suits.